So we've got some exciting news. We're pretty excited.
Yeah, it's been, well, we've kept it undercover for a little bit, but yeah, so here we go.
Well, I decided, since it seems to be the popular trend for all the Mennonite YouTubers to be pregnant, I would just jump on the bandwagon. I'm kidding. Totally didn't do this, but it's just crazy. I wanted to laugh so hard. A few days ago, Lynette Yoder posted that they're expecting, which completely blew me away, and our due dates can't be too far apart. I think she said middle of April and I'm beginning of May, so. Anyway, but it's super exciting. We are expecting, finally, praise the Lord. So many of you just would not leave us alone. And you would keep asking, when are you going to have a second one? When are you going to have a second one? When are you going to have a second one? So, we are having our second one. You're welcome. No, in all seriousness, we are so thankful for this pregnancy so far. It's been going really well, much better than I expected. If you have followed me for a while, you know that I have some health issues I struggle with, and so that's been kind of standing in the way of having more children. So right now I am currently 10 weeks pregnant. We decided to, as soon as we got an ultrasound and got a heartbeat, we would tell people, and so we just got that done the other day. Everything looks fine. Anyway, we couldn't wait to tell Zander. Up until this point, we had kept talking about that we wanted to have another baby sometime. Maybe he'll have a little brother or sister, and we've talked about this quite a bit throughout the past year. And so he's been kind of expecting sometime he might have a little brother or sister, so I think it took a little bit for him to process that we are actually now having a baby.
Who's the side?
You should tell him.
What is that?
Get Dad to show that to you.
That's some pictures of Mom's belly.
Hurting?
No, there's something inside Mom's belly. What do you think it is?
What do you think might be inside Mom's belly?
Tell me, I don't know.
There's a little tiny baby.
Zander.
No, that was before. There's a new one. Remember how you always said that you wanted Mom and Dad to have another baby? A little brother or sister? You're gonna have a brother or a sister.
Two of them.
Just one, hopefully.
Yay!
Are you excited?
Yeah.
That's pretty
What would you
cool.
like?
I don't know. I keep picking each one a brother, and then I keep picking a sister.
So you think a brother and a sister would be fun?
Which one would you like better, a brother or a sister?
Making a Zander.
Another Zander. So you want a brother?
Yeah.
Really?
It's really hard to tell in this picture, but this right here is a tiny little baby. That's its feet and its hands, and there's its head. And the little baby's gonna grow and grow and grow bigger. And then someday Mommy and Daddy, Lord willing, will go to the hospital maybe. And come home with a little tiny baby that Zander can hold.
How many sleeps?
Lots.
Lots of sleeps. Mommy's belly's gonna keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
No way.
That's what I think too. No way.
What do you think?
What it is?
Uh-huh.
I think you're gonna have a little sister. That's what I think.
No, it's Zander. I know Zander.
No, there's not gonna be another Zander.
What?
It'll either be a brother or a sister. And if it's a brother, maybe he'll be named Bob or Jim or Tom.
I pick a girl.
You want a girl. You don't want to run around with a Bob or a Jim or a Tom.
Ow. I guess I want a boy, I guess.
Yes, you want a boy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I picked that first.
We can't really choose.
Yeah, see, we can't, it's whatever God gives us. God might give us a little girl, or he might give us a little boy.
I'm a little brother and sister. I'm so excited.
You've been asking Mom and Dad for a long time to have a little brother or sister, right? You kept saying, I wish Mom and Dad would have another little baby. Didn't you? Are you pretty excited?
I love the mom's belly again.
You are faithful, faithful through all things. You are faithful.
I'm going to skeleton teeth
Yeah.
right there.
Skeleton teeth.
Like that little claw right there.
And it's got a claw.
There's a claw, huh?
Yeah, it doesn't.
It does. It doesn't look like a baby very much right now.
Really, it's probably just really small. Yeah. It'll get bigger and bigger.
Do you think you'll know how to hold a little baby? Will ya?
I think it'll really like Zander.
I'll talk a little bit about this pregnancy, maybe some of the things leading up to it, some of my history. I know some of you will probably be asking. So my first pregnancy was not a lot of fun for me. I didn't get like extremely sick where I was like throwing up every day or multiple times a day like some people do. So I'm so grateful for that. But I never felt really well. I got nauseous, sick. I just did not feel good till probably into my second trimester, I don't know, partway through. And then I started feeling a little better, but just the whole time I was uncomfortable and just didn't feel good, especially hormones. They were just crazy all over the place. And I just dreaded getting pregnant again because of that experience. Also, my labor last time was like around 40 hours from start to finish. Anyway, so that was not fun either. About 6 months after, actually I think it was a little bit earlier, after I had Zander, I started getting these symptoms that things weren't right, and I kept getting more and more sick, and then I think it was around October that after however many tests and doctor visits and whatever, I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, and ever since then, it's been a real big battle. I would go through like periods of flares where I'd be like how many months in a flare and finally get out of one and then be out of it for a few months and then right back into another one, out of it, into another one, and it just is one of those things that pregnancy is not advised when you're in a flare because your body struggles to hang on to nutrients and you're often put onto powerful meds when you're in a flare, which I try to avoid if at all possible. But it's definitely puts you at a higher risk for miscarriage or for preterm labor. Is that what you call it? I've been out of the mom pregnancy world for so long. But anyway, and apart from that, yeah, you struggle. Like often when I go to flare, I'll just drop a lot of weight and then you get out of a flare and you just gain a lot of weight back, and it's just kind of this up and down roller coaster. Your body goes through a lot. So for quite a few years there, it was just kind of learning how, you know, what works for me, what foods work for me, what doesn't, things that stress me out, things that make me flare. And it's still a learning process, but the past year or two, I feel like there's some things I've been doing that I feel has been really helping me. It was actually the beginning of 2020 I got pregnant again, but I had an early miscarriage. It was like really early, so nothing really dramatic. And then after that, life just got crazy and busy, and my mom was in and out of the hospital, and then later on, the beginning of this year, my husband's father passed away. So there's a lot of stress, and through that all, I went into another really big flare. So yeah, it's been quite the journey since Zander's been born, and it was one of those things that just terrified me to become pregnant again. We really wanted to have more children, and just being sick with ulcerative colitis is horrible enough, and the thought of trying to be pregnant on top of that and not knowing what that would cause. This is getting maybe a little more personal now, but you know, it's one of those things that when you try to control things so much, it's good to just let go, and trust God. And so often I just tend to be the type that I just want to be in control of things. And I know we're all that way. It's our human tendency. There was a couple different factors. There was my health, also my weight. I've been pretty high and my weight has been driving me crazy. I've talked about that some before. I'm like, surely I have to just be able to lose some weight before I get pregnant. I would try so hard. And just time would keep going by, and I'd be like, surely by this date I can, you know, be down 10 pounds, 15 pounds, and it just wasn't really working. Anyway, and so that was on my mind. I'm like, if I get pregnant and gain as much weight as I did last time, and if things just go through the roof and I have all this excess weight afterwards yet, I know it's kind of a pride issue, but it's just something I really, really battle with, and I know there are a lot of other women do too. Pregnancy just does a lot to your body. So there was that, there was my health. Another really big thing that I'm not one that tends to struggle with anxiety and worry, but the current world events right now I'm like, is this really a good time, Lord, to have a child? And it was just worry and anxiety and fear. I already struggle some with that, like with my son, like what's he going to see in his life? What if something happens? And I know this is really going crazy, but just how everything has just been turned upside down in the short amount of time that we've seen. You know, it's just, I kind of get this fear of what if things just get worse and worse? What if my children get taken from me somehow? Just the kind of things moms tend to worry about. And I don't know why I was thinking down that line, not like there's any threat of that, but it's one of those things that I don't pray that our children have a life of ease, because I don't think that's healthy for a person. We're not promised an easy life, and it's the trials and those types of things that draw us closer to God. And if our children can be a testimony for God, bring others to Christ, and go through hard times because of that, you know, I'm not praying that that does not happen, that they don't go through really difficult times. But my prayer was, if those hard times come in my children's life, that it can be when they're older and when they're adults and ready to face that. Like, it's just, there's just this indwelling fear that I tend to struggle with if I don't let it go and hand it over to God, is a thing of, what if something happens to me or my husband and the children don't have parents? Or what if something happens that they're taken away from us, or we're split apart, or something terrible happens? I'm just rambling here, but I think you mothers know what I'm talking about. And I try not to let my mind go down that way too. But that was something, it was just really hard for me to just lay it down. You know, there's never the perfect time for anything. If you're just constantly waiting for the perfect time, it probably will never happen. So I just remember I was wrestling with all this, all these different things, all the thoughts rushing through my head, the fear of my health, my weight, of world events, what will happen to my children, are we crazy? And I just suddenly realized I just need to let go and trust God. And I just knelt down and just cried my heart out and said, Lord, I give this over to you. Here are my worries. Here are my fears. This is what I'm scared of. And I trust you that if this is not a good time for us to have another child, that you will take care of that and I won't be getting pregnant. And I just totally laid it down, and the peace and the joy that just flooded over me was so overwhelming. Is that the word? And it was an experience I haven't had like for a while, and I just felt completely at peace. Yeah, so after that, I told a friend, I finally just surrendered. I gave everything to God, and he must have been saying, well, it's about time, girl, you know, because I pretty much immediately got pregnant after that. So anyway, but we're super excited. I'm trusting God. So far, it has been an amazing pregnancy. I just cannot be more thankful. My ulcerative colitis symptoms have been doing really well. I would say better than before. In some cases, not always. I still have to really try to manage. So if that continues, I will just praise the Lord continually. I'm trusting that he'll keep me through this. And yeah, it's been exciting. There's apprehension. I feel like a new mom all over again. Like I was never really a newborn baby person until I had Zander. Then I really did enjoy his stage, but it still kind of scares me. I'm like, I don't know how to take care of a little baby again. So yeah, I am like the umpteenth person here on YouTube saying that I'm pregnant. Hopefully it's not getting too old for you guys. It just cracked me up that Lynette did it a few days ago. I promise I'm not copying her. But we are like really close, I think, in our due date, like a few weeks apart. Anyway, so some of the things I've been experiencing in this first trimester, it's not been nearly as bad as I remember from my first pregnancy. I'm 10 weeks, and I think last time it was more like 16, 17 weeks till I started feeling better. My nauseousness hasn't been nearly as extreme this round. Like, I can still smell food, and it's not like I want to go barf in the toilet. But there's definitely things that turn me off, and I'm kind of nauseous and upset stomach, but nothing extreme. The major thing is I was so exhausted and lacked motivation. I had like no motivation to do YouTube, to do anything. I just wanted to sit and do nothing, lay in bed. I mean, I slept like I haven't slept in ages. Thankfully, Xander's kind of old enough, you know, he would either sleep with me sometimes or just play toys. And I just was getting so tired of sleeping because I just felt like all I did was sleep. I slept all night, and then I'd get up, do some things around the house, and be so tired and go back to bed and sleep all afternoon and get up and sleep all night again. Anyway, it was just, I don't remember being that tired before. Anyway, so thankfully that is no longer, I'm not nearly as tired. I'm starting to get more energy and mood back for life. The nauseousness is settling down a little bit. So yeah, and I'm only at 10 weeks, so that's amazing. I hope it keeps up. Am I going with a midwife or a hospital? First I was going to go with a hospital. So last time I started with a midwife. I was having complications. Xander's head was like turned sideways and he wasn't going anywhere. So after spending like the whole night, part of the morning at the midwife's house, we finally decided to go to the hospital, where I was put on like morphine, which I had not wanted to do, but by then I'm like, I just need something. And then they also put me on, is it Pitocin? And they had to crank that up high till he was ever born. It was just, yeah, it was a nightmare. But I did really enjoy my experience there. They were super nice. And I was planning to do that again this year, but now the hospital changed hands and it's sounding like some of the staff is getting moved and not there anymore. They're not really happy about it. I really liked Holy Spirit. It was like a Catholic run hospital. The people were very pro-life and very much into natural births and not so much quick to do C-sections and trying to, like, you know, what you want. They preference that. So I was going to go back, and then I realized all these changes are happening in the hospital and I'm just not quite sure. It's still kind of on the fence, the pros and cons. I do really like the personal feel of a midwife. So we're still kind of trying to decide that. So many decisions. Let me know below which one you prefer, if you do hospital or midwife, or if you guys do home births. Also, changing the subject a little bit, I do have a private group that I think is a lot of fun, where about 1,000 of y'all, a little over 1,000, jumped on over there, and we have chats and discussions, and I just post little things around the place. It's on Telegram. I'll have it linked below if you want to join. It's free. It's just kind of fun to post some raw content. I'm not much on Instagram and Facebook. Now and then I am. But I just like a platform where I don't have to try to do pretty pictures, and I can just post random things. So if you want to be a part of that, feel free. I'll have links down in the description. Some people are having problems with downloading the app. Yeah, it's completely up to you if you want to join or not. So thanks a lot, everyone. For those of you that are such a great support here on this channel, many of you have constantly told me that you're praying for us, and that means so much. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
I can almost see you clearly. Every day you're singing over me. Anywhere I go, in you I find my home. Anywhere I go, in you I find my home. There is nothing like your love. There is nothing and no one above. Oh, come be with us, Holy One. Oh, come be with us, Holy One. Oh, come be with us, Holy One.